Hi everyone, and welcome to AWS Innovate. In this session, we will discuss how Genesys infused ML into their predictive engagement platform and managed to offer a fully personalized experience at scale by training and deploying thousands of customer-specific models daily. I'm Kostis Vasilakakis, and I lead the go-to-market strategy of Sagemaker as it pertains to all integrations and partnerships. And today, I'm joined by Julian Salou, who is a senior software engineer and data science architect at Genesys, and one of the key members that build the predictive engagement platform.
Hi, Kostis.
We will start the presentation with discussing some key market observations as it pertains to customer-specific experiences. And then we will quickly dive into the impetus behind Genesys building a predictive engagement platform. We will then do a live demo of the solution, which I personally find extremely interesting and fascinating. And we will then discuss the challenges and technical requirements the team had to bring such a product to life. And we will, of course, also discuss how the team overcame those and what were the ways Sagemaker helped the team. And lastly, I would want to close it off with how we, as the Sagemaker team, can help other SaaS-based customers infuse ML into their products and power similarly innovative experiences. Let's get going. Personalization is really everywhere, and it's something that every one of us has experienced in online retail, in media, in gaming, in so many more industries. The rapid development of technology and the growing amount of time people spend online has increased, and the number of customer touchpoints and interactions across the vast array of products and services available in multiple industries has skyrocketed. As the ability to deliver more sophisticated experiences has evolved over time, so has the intrinsic expectation and demand from customers to receive a more personalized experiences with brands as they engage in. Customers today expect a frictionless, curated experience across digital channels as they consider, purchase, and use products and services. In fact, actually, 63% of customers see this as the standard level of service. As such, market leaders are making investments in personalization to meet their customers everywhere. And they do this not only to improve the customer experience. This is a means to a bigger end. Businesses improve the bottom line with better curated experiences. According to a McKinsey study in 2019, organizations that have implemented personalized experiences and triggered communications that are personalized have realized between 5 and 15% increase in revenue and 10 to 30% increase in marketing spend efficiency. And the interesting thing is that the market is not just doing personalized recommendations. It's actually shifting towards fully personalized experiences. Online customers follow completely heterogeneous journeys and managing to offer them exactly what they need when they truly want it and significantly increase engagement. But I'm sure Julian can be talking about this migration to fully personalized experiences for hours. So Julian, do you mind walking us through the business objectives that your team at Genesys had when you started to ideate and build the predictive engagement platform?
Yeah, of course. So in this talk, since we don't have hours, we have about 30 minutes, I'm really going to be narrowing in on one particular feature of Genesys predictive engagement, and that's our outcome scores feature. But as a start, I'd love to give a bit more context of our business objectives at a higher level. So at Genesys, we're all about customer experience. And the goal of predictive engagement is to use both real-time and historical data from these heterogeneous customer journeys to better understand user intent and context. So we want to offer personalized support at the right moment. And one really important feature of Genesys predictive engagement is outcome scores. So essentially, this allows us to predict how likely it is for a user to achieve a particular business goal and then trigger the right engagement at the right time based on that predictive behavior. Within predictive engagement, we're trying to blend AI with the human touch. So when we offer automated chat, we want to enrich this with the content provided by predictive engagement. And we want to find the right moment to turn a chat over to a live agent. We need to provide that additional human touch.
Julian, what would you say is the biggest difference between the traditional engagement process and the more outcome-based process? I bet there is a change management that needs to be done on the business admins and the agents. So how are you guys thinking about this?
That's a really good question. So with a more traditional engagement platform, you may have manually crafted rules. For example, if a user visits a particular page, you may want to trigger a chat automatically. And this can work quite well for the most common funnels on a customer's website, but even these simple rules can require a good bit of manual maintenance as the website changes, as the offering changes, or as underlying user behavior and needs change. So our goal here is to not only improve the customer experience, but also the business admin experience. So within predictive engagement, you can define your outcomes, your business goals. You can define your action maps. So what sorts of engagements do you want to trigger and under what conditions? And the rest we're trying to optimize using the rich customer experience data that we have streaming into the predictive engagement platform. So this means can also improve your resource utilization, choosing the right moment to offer a chat powered by a chatbot and the right moment to offer a chat or another sort of engagement with a live agent. So with AI-driven predictive engagement, the goal is to improve customer experience, the business admin experience, and also the agent experience.
What you're describing here is a very rich experience across many stakeholders in the predictive engagement space. And how about we help our audience as well dive deeper and understand what you're talking with a live demo?
So let's start with a high-level overview of Genesys predictive engagement. You can see on the left, there is a user visiting a solar panel website. And on the right, we have a peek at the Genesys predictive engagement admin UI. So on the Live Now screen, we can see what users are currently active on the website. You can also see on the left-hand side, there are other configuration panels such as segments, outcomes, and action maps. So first, I'm going to drill down into this unknown session. So the user on the left, they have not logged in yet. However, we do have some information about them. As they click around the website, we can see their page views showing up in the Live Now screen. We can see outcome scores. As I noted, this is an especially important component of our talk today. So for GSOL, this solar panel website, they have 2 outcomes configured. And we can already see scores updating in real time as the user navigates the website.
What is the model actually taking into account as the user goes through this experience? What features are being exactly considered there?
So that's a great question, Kosti, because at first in this customer journey, we're seeing page views show up under session journey, but we're actually taking into account a lot of rich context. So if this user was logged in, we would be able to take into account information from previous sessions or other information that we have about this customer. We are also looking at the many different events that happen within a customer journey. So it's not just page views, it's events such as adding items to a cart, for example. Highlight that in just a few moments. So one thing to note within predictive engagement is that the customer can configure custom web event types and custom attributes that appear within those web events. And our machine learning models under the hood need to be able to dynamically handle these very customer-specific event types and attributes. So we can see we have right now some basic technographic information, device type, about this logged out user. So the user on the left, they're going to add an item to their cart. And we can see more information about this session now. What products that they added to their cart, the cart value. And one interesting thing we can see is that they've had a segment assigned. This user is actually eligible for a discount, perhaps based on the particular item that they added to their cart or the total cart value. So the user is going to log in. We can see their name, their contact information. And now we can pull this in to inform our predictions within the outcome score feature. So we can see this user is eligible for other communication options now if they want to initiate a call, chat, send an email themselves. But the focus here is on the predictive engagement element. So this user, they're about to check out. We can see that their probability of made payment is quite high, logically. However, remember, they're eligible for a discount. This user does not know the discount code, so they're going to search for it. And we can see the outcome score for made payment has dropped significantly, perhaps based on other historic customer journeys. This is an area where users tend to experience friction. We can see that they have a segment assigned, abandoned checkout, and the probability of made payment has dropped quite a bit. So I really want to narrow in on this key feature. The user's probability of made payment was very high. Then it dropped significantly as they navigated away from the checkout to find a discount code, as we can see by the red bar in made payment. So this drop in outcome scores has triggered a chat. So if we look on the left-hand side, our chat widget has popped up, and there's personalized language here. A discount applies for your selected product. Want to chat? So based on all of the context that we have about the user and their session so far, we've offered a personalized chat. First, they're connecting with an intelligent chatbot. But next, I want to take a look at the agent view. So when this user connects to an agent, what does it look like to the person who is handling this chat? So we can see the agent can see the entire chat history of the user talking with this intelligent chatbot, can see information about the customer, their name, their number of previous sessions on this website, can also see the full journey. So what pages did they view? Did they add items to their cart? And importantly, we can see the searches that they performed as well. So this particular user was searching for a discount code. Looking at their outcome scores, we can see their probability of making a payment was very high, and then it drops significantly. So the agent has a lot of context on the user and their journey so far. They were very likely to complete a purchase. They were searching for a discount code, and now they're experiencing some friction. So one thing to note is even as the user continues their journey, this view is still updating in real time. So the agent always has up-to-date information, and they're able to efficiently provide this discount code to our user. So now we hope we have a happy user who applies their discount code and successfully completes their purchase.
Dylan, this is really powerful, and I know I've seen this a couple of times. It really never gets old. Can I ask, what other event types are you guys addressing? I know we saw today the discount code, but like what other events, like so that we paint the picture to our audience, the agent might see there?
Yeah, so this is a great question, Kosti. And one thing to highlight is that these event types can be very customer specific. So in this demo, we're seeing events such as searches, adding an item to a cart, your traditional page view. However, for different domains, you may see very different instrumentation. For example, on this same demo website, there's a different funnel for you'll see this outcome score, actually residential hot lead. So on this website, there's a in-depth form where a user would provide information about their home to assess their eligibility for solar panels and various funding. So that part of the demo website is much more analogous to something like a banking use case, for instance, where users may experience friction filling out a lengthy mortgage application, for example. So the sorts of instrumentation can be highly customized. And this is part of what's driving the technical challenges behind this outcome scores feature, right? Because we're not just serving outcome scores for traditional page views, but we're taking into account these very domain specific and customer specific event types and attributes to ensure that we can service a wide variety of customer use cases.
Yeah, I mean that's it's really beautiful. It's a multi-context engine that is really adaptive to your customers and customers. So it's the complexity is very obvious, and I think it's important though to lay out and help our audience understand some of those important complexities you face. So, do you mind if we dive deeper a little bit on the complexities as they pertain to the outcome score models specifically?
Yeah, so this is the area where, for me, on the engineering side, I could definitely talk for hours and hours. So we saw in the demo these outcome scores in the admin view and also the agent view. So an outcome is configured by a customer and it captures their unique business goals. So on our demo website, the outcome we were really focused on was made payment, but this is fully customized by the customer, and a customer can have many different outcomes configured within predictive engagement. So under the hood, each outcome corresponds to a unique machine learning pipeline. And this pipeline can contain multiple models, right? Typically, you're not feeding raw events into a neural network, for example. You may have a pipeline with multiple components, the first of which transforms your raw events into a more machine learning friendly format, and the next component being a more complex model. So to put it plainly, we have a lot of models to train every night, and we needed to be able to scale out to thousands of different models. It's especially important for us to retrain on the freshest data. This is because we want to make sure that we're adapting to changes in user behavior and customer requirements. One of the highlights of predictive engagement, in my view, is that we can ease the burden of maintaining manual rules. If your website changes, if customer trends change, if you have a new offering, we want to just retrain on that fresh data and make sure that the outcome scores reflect those changes in behavior. So we have a lot of models and we need to retrain them frequently, sometimes nightly. So another really important component here is we need to serve predictions fast. And when I say fast, I mean in real time. Our motto here is make every moment count.
When you say real time, Julianne, would love to double click on that. Like, what are the expectations that you had in terms of latency?
That's a great question, Kosti. So when we were evaluating different options for model serving, we set a requirement to be able to serve predictions for tens of thousands of events with sub-second latency. So quite a high bar. We needed to make sure that we had room to grow the platform and that our model serving decisions could keep pace without needing to continually reevaluate our serving infrastructure.
Have you guys ever worried about how to reach production quickly as you're speaking about serving those experiences? I guess once you train those models, you want to bring those models as quickly as possible so that they remain fresh into production. And as you experiment across multiple frameworks and models and dependencies, what are some of the common issues you guys have faced?
That question of how do you bring a new algorithm from concept through validation to production is often overlooked, because the end goal for us is an automated machine learning pipeline. We want to create freedom for our data scientists to experiment with new algorithms to better service different use cases and verticals. We want to allow them the freedom to choose the right tool for the job, whether it's TensorFlow, PyTorch, Spark ML. We want to ensure that they can deliver the state-of-the-art to production in a fairly seamless way. We also wanted to limit the changes required to ML adjacent components if the underlying algorithm or framework changed. So for the data scientists, to say, bring us your algorithm, but on the engineering side, we want to keep the implementation quite stable. So that was a big challenge for us, right? How do you create stability while also maintaining freedom in terms of ML framework decision making?
Yeah, I remember from my data scientist moments, just changing one dependency could just break everything. And imagine you have hundreds of people working on that, and every person at the same time to productionalize something. I understand it's very complex, and I'd love to understand also how do you guys go about solving those problems that you just stated. It's really a big ML infrastructure that you guys have been using daily, and I'd like to dive deeper on how did you address those technical challenges.
Great. So let's talk a little bit then about the solution here. So our end goal is an automated machine learning workflow. And what allowed us to achieve this is Sagemaker. So when I say automated machine learning workflow, once again, I want to highlight that we're developing algorithms in-house on anonymized data. That process obviously has humans, data scientists in the loop, right? But the end goal is to lay down the blueprints for an automated workflow. So our data preparation, our model selection, so of the algorithms we support, which is the right one for this particular outcome, the model training, the orchestration, so I have a new model, how do I roll it out into production safely, and the real-time scoring. All of this in production, we want a seamless, fully automated experience with no manual data scientist intervention. So I'm going to highlight some of the different steps in this workflow and talk about how SageMaker helped us make it happen, and also point out some of the other AWS services that we utilize. So for dataset preparation and model training, we retrieve the freshest data available from our event archive, which is all stored in S3. And then we perform all of our data transformations in EMR. So we have Spark jobs that are cleaning the data, performing automated feature engineering, and you'll love to hear sending training jobs to SageMaker. So with SageMaker, we are training our custom Genesys developed algorithms, which are implemented using a variety of ML frameworks, but we're able to do this without maintaining dependencies for this wide variety of frameworks, without managing the infrastructure, because SageMaker does that for us, right? On the orchestration side, we're training new models generally nightly per outcome. So you said that's a lot of models, right? And before we replace a model that's running in production and triggering engagements, we need to make sure that is up to the job, right? So what we do here is we train our new models, we run some post-training checks using a holdout data set, and then we deploy these new models to SageMaker endpoints, and we funnel some of our production traffic through these new models in observation mode. So we're generating outcome scores in the background, but these scores are only used to evaluate model performance. They're not triggering engagements yet. The original production model is still servicing 100% of production traffic. So we have a step function that is monitoring these models in observation mode. It's retrieving performance metrics from CloudWatch. So these can be operational metrics such as latency and error rate, or more ML specific metrics. So essentially you're comparing your ground truth to the scores you've produced. So typically we'd be running in observation mode for about an hour, but it can vary. And then a Lambda kicks off to either promote the model or roll back.
That's awesome. Thank you, Julian. And in general, for the whole ML workflow, really appreciate you diving into the details. You leveraged a lot of different AWS technologies. But given I'm coming from the SageMaker world, and we have obviously our own ideas of what we believe our product does well, I have one last question for you. Do you mind sharing with our audience what was it from the SageMaker service specifically that you truly made a difference? I know you touched upon a couple of areas, the infrastructure and the endpoints, but do you mind giving us a couple of items in terms of like what was it that really impacted you for the better with SageMaker?
SageMaker really powers the outcome scores feature here. So we have in-house developed algorithms that are bringing a lot of value to our customers. To manage this automated training would be a massive endeavor. So SageMaker allows us to train models for many different frameworks. There's a very user-friendly API. So we're able to integrate SageMaker with our training service in a very seamless way. So if a data scientist develops an algorithm using a framework that we haven't really used before, we're able to integrate that with our training pipeline with very minimal overhead and dependency management. So that flexibility that SageMaker provides has been vital to our team. As I've mentioned, using SageMaker has freed up a lot of cycles where we would have been focused on infrastructure decisions and dependency management. We've been able to really focus on meeting our customers' needs and ensuring that we're developing state-of-the-art algorithms within the customer experience domain. On the more optimization side, talked about real-time scoring is absolutely critical. It's no matter how accurate your model is, if we're not able to serve predictions in a timely manner, we can't have an impact on the user experience and journey. So the real-time scoring capabilities provided by SageMaker, especially the auto-scaling support, means that we're able to adapt to changes in traffic patterns, and our customers are free to experiment with the predictive engagement product. So if they're creating new event types and adding more instrumentation to their website, for example, we can keep up with that. Talked a lot as well about collaboration and faster ML time to market. So we're focusing on machine learning innovation over infrastructure, which means we're able to increase our feature velocity and deliver more value for Genesys customers. And very important would be the lower cost with multi-model endpoints. So hosting multiple models under one endpoint has significantly reduced our cost for model serving, and it also gives us flexibility, for example, to retain previous versions of models, to experiment more with more complex strategies for A/B testing because the cost to maintain another version of a model is significantly lower with multi-model endpoints.
Excellent. Really appreciate you sharing this, Julian. And we are very happy here at the Sagemaker team that Sagemaker has helped you so much. Just I want to close it off with how can the Sagemaker team help our other SaaS-based customers. And as with all AWS services, Sagemaker is accompanied with an extensive documentation and detailed sample notebooks that you can run in order to immediately see and play with the end-to-end functionality that we offer. So one thing is go ahead, read the documentation, play with the notebooks to deeper understand the technology. And then you can also get started with SageMaker in a matter of minutes. In fact, within the SageMaker Studio itself, you can access end-to-end pre-built solutions and open source models that you can deploy very quickly with writing from zero to minimal code. And if you want advanced training, we have also a lot available online, as well as we can help you get you and your teams certified. And then lastly, what I might suggest, especially for our big SaaS customers, is by getting started with one of our programs or workshops that are specifically tailored for SaaS-based customers. We have design workshops that can help you map out and plan a proof of concept. And this can help you either get started by yourself using your internal teams, or we can also connect you with our AWS professional services and AA or AML competency partners who can assist you with some of the work that those workers will define. Now, I want to thank you all, and predominantly Julian, for the time. It was really a pleasure being here. And thanks for the willingness, Julian, to share this great story. Really amazing work, and it was fantastic diving deeper into the details. Hopefully you all got something to learn today. And in case you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Here is our emails, and we hope you have a good rest of the day and enjoy AWS Innovate.
Thanks, Hussey. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.